Nangeli rebelled against an exploitative regime in Travancore state, which charged exorbitant taxes from the common people. In particular, a tax called Moolakaram, which was levied on all Dalit women, in particular those who wore clothing covering their breasts. Nangeli, an Ezhava community woman, rebelled against this discriminatory system. It was her struggle which brought sea changes in the life of lower castes, especially Ezhavas in Kerala state. She protested against Moolakaram as it was a derogatory and discriminative system against women. She was an icon of social protest as she did not pay breast taxes, instead cut her breasts and presented to the tax collector. Soon after that, she breathed last due to profuse bleeding. Nangeli and her husband Chirukanandan lived in Chertala, a small coastal village in erstwhile princely state of Travancore. They worked as agricultural laborers and collected sap from coconut trees. Travancore Rajas ruthlessly extracted 110 kinds of levies and taxes from lower castes on fishermen's net ornaments, a mustache sported by men of Ezhava community, etc. A general tax was levied on men was known as Talakkaram, head tax. Moolakaram is a tax on women literally. The women have to pay breast tax to cover their upper body. Anyone of Ezhava or Nadar caste was expected to appear bare torso in presence of Brahmins and higher castes. Brahmins were considered as living gods. Hence, they enjoyed highest privileges in Kerala society. Traditionally, it was common for men and women of lower castes to be bare-chested and no shame was attached to it. However, by the late 18th century, a sense of humiliation and insult was instilled among lower castes and they tried to find a new identity. As a part of self-assertion movement, such practices were registered. Such resistance and register of protest had strong roots in the early period protest movements. Nangeli is one such woman who dared to question hegemony and oppression of caste Hindus, particularly dominant Brahmin oligarchy. Among women, chest covering was permitted only to high caste women. Moolakaram was collected from lower Ezhava caste women who wished to cover their breasts with clothes. Nangeli felt it is unjustful and women of lower caste have been subjected to humiliations, harassment and exploitation. One day she dared to cover her breast with clothes and it was noticed by locals who intimated this to the tax collector known as Parvatiyar. Parvatiyar and his team came to her hut to collect Moolakaram from Nangeli as she was wearing clothes to cover her breast. She asked them, "Wait for a while." They patiently waited, believing that she would soon bring them the tax in usual form, that is rice. The rice was given in plantain leaves. Nangeli picked up the sickle. In one stroke, she slashed off her own breast. The searing pain was unbearable. The wound bled on her body like a fountain. She carried on to cut off another breast despite she bled profusely. Placing both breasts on plantain leaves, with great strength she mustered in her mutilated body and proceeded to hand over her breasts as a Moolakaram to the Parvatiyar. It was a horrifying thing for the tax collector. He experienced jolt as he has seen cut off breasts in the plantain leaves. The state officials received the news of her sacrifice, and she knew her sacrifice would not end up in vain. Nangeli succumbed to the death due to profuse bleeding, and her body was in the pool of blood. Chirukkanandan, who was away from home when incident took place and rushed to the spot, seen her dead body. She was lying in the pool of blood. Chirukkanandan decided to join his wife, Nangeli, by jumping into her funeral pyre and burned to death. Probably, this is the only incident in the entire region where a man done Pati Sahagamana system. Nangeli's protest sent shock waves throughout the state. Next day, Sri Moolam Tirunal, king of Travancore, issued a proclamation revoking Moolakaram, fearing statewide agitation and protest by lower castes. The area she lived in came to be known as Malachi Parambu, land of the breasted women. Nangeli is an icon of protest and resistance by lower caste, and it is one of those incidents which made Dalits to be proud of her sacrifice and her dedication to bring about radical changes in society.